The only time I entered a closet was to get me a outfit and a pair of pumps.
It's an honor to be here tonight to celebrate a living legend. Legendary looks like the gorgeous, the generous, the resilient, the luminous, the brilliant, the loving, the one and only Gloria Allen. You stand in the presence of a legend. You stand.
Thank you so much for you all to come out and honor me, which I just loving every minute of it, but I'm accepting this. But I'm accepting this award for the girls that taught me and guide me through life. And they may not be here today, but they're here in my heart. And I'm accepting it for them as well as the youth too. And thank you all so much. It is a blessing to stand here, to see you all. And I am so proud of each and every one in this room. And I love you. And I thank God for you all. And I thank God for the transgender people, because we are a blessing. They're finally recognizing the older trans girls, because we've been here, we paved the way for them, and they should acknowledge us. Back then, we were brutally murdered or beaten up, and I just couldn't understand why they was doing this to me and to my sisters. But I got by. I made it through by the grace of God, and I thank Him today for holding on to me. Trans girls need to know what I went through and how I navigated through the things in life to get here today.
Young trans girls think they can't make it to 40. They shouldn't have to feel that way.
Since the beginning of this year, at least 18 transgender people have been murdered in the United States.
These are the faces of trans women of color who were all murdered in cold blood.
The deaths raising concerns with civil rights and anti-violence advocates.
When trans people are under attack, what do we do?
People need to know what we have to go through being a transgender person. Sometimes it can be difficult and scary, and then sometimes it can be beautiful.
Hi, how are you all? Oh, you look cute. I'm Gloria. Okay, precious. I see. I hadn't seen her.
I like to make people's days better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a little Coach coin purse to go with your purse.
oh, bless your heart.
I live for that moment. Oh my God.
Okay, thank you. Oh my goodness. You all, when I see you all, you always continue to bless me, and it's a blessing just to see that you all are here and out here, and I'm proud of you.
We're proud to call you Mama Gloria.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's what we're proud
Well,
to do.
I am so happy. I'm doing, and be safe out here.
course,
You know,
of course, of
please
course.
be safe.
All right, let me love up on you because it's cold.
Okay. Okay then.
All right, love.
And
Stay
you all
warm.
take care.
You too.
Okay. I was here one particular day at the center on Halsted. I was in the lobby. They had the round tables down there, and everybody was sitting. People that come from out of the neighborhood to go into Whole Foods to shop would be there with their children. And the young trans girls would come in, and actually, you saw a floor show. They shook and shaked everywhere. I went over to them and I told them, you all shouldn't do this. That's, you're being nasty and you're being ugly. And one girl said, oh, we're sorry, Mama Gloria. That's how I got my name. And I thought about it and I said, these girls don't have a clue. They don't know what love is and they don't know how to conduct themselves in public. Then I said, well, let me get out here and help somebody who really needs my help. So a bell went off in my head and I said, they need a charm school here. And that started it. I would have classes twice a week for the homeless trans girls and guys. And it was a joy for me to sit there with them, listen to their stories, and they had some stories to tell. And they would listen to me. Yeah, I would share things with them and everything. And it was such a joy to put myself out there and then give myself to them, which I did. Charm School is a place where I want girls to come in and learn how to be a lady, because if you act like a lady, you'll be treated like a lady. And, to be a hoochie mama, but it takes class, and to be proud of yourself, walk with your head up high, and do those things, and you can get through it, You could be the ugliest girl in the world, transgender girl, but if you carry yourself with dignity and pride, you're still beautiful, I would even go home, cook. Took me all day to cook, but I cooked for them and would bring it back to the center, and we have dinner, break bread, and it was a sheer delight for me, because here I am with my children. How are you? This is another baby of mine. You turned out to be an amazing young woman, and I'm so proud of you.
The reason why I feel emotional and why I feel the tears coming is because, number one, I'm very happy, and number two, it's because she taught me a lot of what it's more so like to be a lady and to not be, running out here in the streets. I came a long way because of her.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
And seeing her for the first time in a while, it just, makes me emotional because it's like it's all coming back, because
Yes.
sometimes I look back on where I used to be to where I am now. So she's a really good role model. So I'm really thankful to have people like her in my life. So I'm just happy.
Charm School was the thing for me. And then after that, a writer in the Tribune got in touch with me and asked could she interview me, and I said yes. And then I get a call from Phil Dawkins. He read the article, said this would make a good play. And Phil Dawkins sat with me for about 6 months in my class and listened and picked up on everything.
Y'all think that kind of behavior is cute. Well, it is not cute. You leave the reading and the fooling to the rappers and the fools. In here, we build each other up.
The play was featured at Steppenwolf Garage Theater, and it played to a packed house for 4 weeks. Then I get a chance to see it because every night I was at the show. They called me up and said, well, we're gonna send you to Minnesota because the play is gonna be played there. I went to Minnesota. Then after that, they went to Washington, and then it went on to LA, and it came to New York. Whew. Me going to New York for a week, staying there in the hotels and going to rehearsal.
You know, I was trying to create a character, but the character was sitting right in front of me. She sits at the rehearsal table with us, and I said, I'm stealing it all. I'm stealing your mannerisms, I'm stealing your voice, I'm stealing it all.
Sandra was a trans woman, but she didn't let nobody know until she got the script. She read it, and she came out. She had the courage to come out because of my story. I got a chance to meet one child that I fell in love with. Her name was Haley Shar. I became close to her and Sandra. In fact, quite a few of them. And they still call me today. You know, I never thought that people would take me into their arms and treat me like the way they're treating me now. I feel like Snow White just being kissed and woke up to life. I was born in 1945. My mother got into a torrid love affair with a man named Bill Dice. Mr. Dice, I found out later on as I got older, was my father. My mother was 18, pregnant with me, and her father put my mother out of the house. Some people downstairs helped her to go to her mother in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And my mother stayed there until she gave birth to me. And then we came back to Chicago. We lived on 43rd and State. My mother was a jet centerfold model. They called my mother the Black Marilyn Monroe. She was stacked to no end, and she could stop traffic walking down the street. My mother was the one that had the name that they gave me in high school, the Body. She had a body. My grandmother was a seamstress. Oh, she could sew clothes. And the drag shows on the South Side was a big business. They had them at the Club de Lisa, the Grand Ballroom, Robert's Show Club, and the Jewel Box Review.
You can be my jockey and ride all over town. You can be my jockey and ride all over town. I want my jockey with me when my love comes down.
I was at home with her one day. Some of the drag girls came to the house. She'd make gowns and they were beautiful. And then the male strippers, they would get naked and she would be sewing their G-strings or whatever they called them back then. And I would just look at my grandmother, how could you do that? And she said, honey, it's business. I got to make my money. And she did. Then my mother met Artil. Artil Allen was a much older man. He was 13 years older than my mother. And my mother got pregnant again with his son, Herbert. Then she had a set of twins, Albert in Arteel. And then I had my oldest half-sister, Jeannie, and then I had my other half-sister, Laurie. The boys, the men in my life, my family members, they didn't take no time up with me. And my dad never told me he loved me. My mother was in a loveless marriage, and she stayed with Arteel for convenience. But my mother was so in love with Bill Dice, and my mother would leave me with the kids, and she would be gone weeks, 2 weeks, and then come home like it was nothing. I didn't get the nurturing that I was supposed to have. And my younger siblings, they didn't get it either because they had to get it from me. My mother had an illness, which they didn't talk about then in those days. But my mother, she suffered from postpartum depression, having all these babies, and she just couldn't cope with it. My mother was in show business, so she was around a lot of entertainers and show people. There were transgender girls back then, and they'd be out on the streets in the clubs. It was a flourishing thing, but they didn't mention transgender. They were called sissies. And my mother would talk about the girls to me, and I would just sit back and listen to her. My mother knew what I was going to end up being. She knew then. The boys would tease me and to call me all kind of names, sissies and faggots and stuff, and I didn't know what that term meant. But I knew I was different. I was prissy, you know. I'd sit back with my hands folded. I loved cutting out paper dowels. I loved snatching the dowels from my cousins and combing the hair. I used to look at my mother and I said, oh, I wish I could be like her. I knew I was a girl, you know, in the wrong body. And I didn't like it. I didn't want to be